So Season 3 is this week, and that means there's a lot of information and a lot of content coming at you for the new update on Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. Today, as with every seasonal launch, I wanted to break down everything you could possibly need to know in order to get 100% ready for the new season upcoming. So drop your thoughts, drop a like, and consider subscribing for more Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, and other FPS content I'd love to have in the community. Also, make sure to follow over on TikTok. We're getting into the swing of things with short-form content as well, but anyways, let's dive into Season 3. First and foremost, when is Season 3's update? When can you jump into the content here for Season 3? Now, this is all going to be at one static time, and according to prior mentions made by the official Call of Duty socials, it'll be 9 a.m. Pacific time, 10 a.m. Mountain, 11 Central, noon Eastern, and then elsewhere in the world that equates to 5 p.m. in the UK, 6 p.m. in Berlin, 8 p.m. in Moscow, 2 a.m. in Seoul, South Korea, and 4 a.m. in Sydney. And on screen is a little bit of a helpful guide here that if it's not quite describing exactly where your time zone may be, at least it can help hopefully deduce a little easier than, say, if you're like 12 hours away from one of the mentioned time zones. But anyways, that's when it starts. According to leakers, there actually is, for the first time in a while, an end date known or proposed where that will be May 28th into the 29th, making it a 55-day season or an 8-week season. But it's also backed up by the fact that there are 7 weekly aftermarket parts in Season 3 listed in the reveal blog. The 8th one that is detailed is in the redacted segment of the mid-season reloaded battle pass sector, meaning that it'll be a part of the new weapon drop, 5 challenges for each tiers, and then the challenge for the ball 27, but 7 weekly challenges, so looks like 55 days total on this, but that'll be either confirmed or denied here in just a couple of days when the battle pass timer does go live. Now, as with every update, will there be a preload? As of recording this video, nothing is seen just yet in regards to preloads for PlayStation. Xbox usually isn't a part of that, unfortunately, and BNet, which has recently gotten the updates like a couple of days early, surprisingly, nothing's there just yet, but as with every update, we do usually see about a 12 to 24 hour span where it is possible to see that, so keep an eye out as of tomorrow in the afternoon starting at that point. But that said, there are a few things that you want to know and get done before the end of this season before we jump into the content at hand. Firstly, the biggest one of my priority that I'd recommend is make sure you get those weekly challenges done for that Inferno camo. The weekly challenge system for Modern Warfare 3 has been, personally speaking, I think a nice little way to reward grinders throughout the season, and this season might be the best mastery reward that we've seen to date for that. The Golden River camo in the preseason was nice. The Coherence camo for Season 1 I thought honestly was missable, wasn't that great, but the Rotten Inferno camo for this season I think is the best seasonal camo we've had to date by a long shot, personally speaking. But if you want to grab this, you want to make sure you complete your weekly challenges ahead of the seasonal refresh here. Each of those weekly challenge sets are kind of focused around whatever aftermarket part is that reward, so you can focus on those in quicker fashions if you take them week by week. And the nice part, again, is that ability to now track challenges in game. So that's a massive help, I think. Also, one thing talking about the aftermarket parts is what happens if you don't complete the seasonal challenges and you miss out on not only just the camo reward, but any of the weekly aftermarket parts? Well, unlike the camo, an aftermarket part can be a functional gameplay item, so it'd be pretty messed up if those were never available again to unlock, right? Well, thankfully, that's not the case. As with each season prior, aftermarket parts that are unearned go into the Armory unlock pool following the season and can be unlocked in any order you'd like. Plus, they're rather easy to obtain just by completing daily challenges or by winning matches and getting points towards those unlocks. So if you miss out on any of those unlocks throughout this season's weekly challenges, don't stress too much. You'll still have the ability to earn those along the way. Also, make sure you complete your battle pass if you care at all about that. Myself, I'm not sure if I'll end up completing mine. I might make a mad dash to grind out the rest, might not. But speaking of things that will go away and be available for unlock later in Season 3, 99% of the battle pass items will not be because they're cosmetics, but things like your weaponry will be. Like, I didn't earn the soul render because honestly, I don't care about melee weapons. I never have a melee weapon equipped, so that's something that's just kind of irrelevant to me in what I care about earning, but that'll be attached to a challenge next season likely, as is the aftermarket part in that classified sector. That'll be an armory unlock, and then of course your BP-50 and Ram 9. Those will be unlocked challenges associated with those as well. But anyways, additional things to do: hit max level if you care about that blueprint associated with it at all. Otherwise, doesn't matter. And of course, recognize ranked season-ending placements, rewards, and resets. Ranked does have some implications for season-ending discussions. Obviously, you have those rewards for season-end rankings, so if you want to grind something out to get 1 tier higher or something like that, make sure you do so. For those and other season-ending rewards, the highest placement you hit this season will be what you earn on Wednesday and that update. So if you hit iridescent but you drop down to, say, crimson, you'll still earn those iridescent items. However, top 250 rewards are only awarded to the players who finish finish in top 250. So if you're on the fringe, like right now, maybe 240, I wouldn't necessarily take the next day off. You could still lose out on that. And then placements will reset here as of next season with season 3. You'll drop down, for the most part, one division lower than where you were. If you're Crimson or higher, you've reset down to Diamond 1, but anything below that, you've reset just one skill division below where you were. So if you're in Platinum, you'll end up going down to Gold, if that makes sense. But anyways, now let's talk about the content upcoming. We're going to be talking rather quick through some of this stuff because a lot of it is just simply recap, but there will be some things that we do want to expand upon a little further. But let's just start out with the multiplayer. It's surprisingly a larger season for multiplayer. 6 multiplayer maps, granted not all new, but 3 are new, 1 remastered, and 2 are repurposed. It's still a really nice offering, I think, in seasons where games prior have severely neglected MP content as is, but also as the year goes on, you start to see some of that stuff kind of trail off and fade away. This, it kind of seems like even though we have 2 repurposed in terms of quantity, we're still getting more as the season goes on. So I'm all here for that one. At launch, we'll end up seeing the maps of Emergency and 6 Star, those both being brand new maps. Grow House is going to be a remastered map from Vanguard. Sphere, for those that played. Honestly, I didn't play a whole ton of Vanguard outside of the camo grind and everything like that. So past like season 1, maybe season 2, I didn't play a whole ton. I was just playing Warzone at that point. So that'll be something that if you're like me, this might still be a brand new map to you in a sense. And then also we'll have Tanked, which is a repurposed portion of the Vondel Zoo. And at mid-season, you'll have a brand new 6v6 map of Grime and the map of Checkpoint, which is the stronghold area of Rebirth Island. For weaponry, you have 4 weapons inbound, those including 3 at launch of the Moors sniper rifle, a one-shot railgun from Advanced Warfare, the FGX Horus, otherwise the MP9 from Modern Warfare 3 2011, and the Gladiator push dagger melee weapon, all 3 of those coming in the Battle Pass. Now, in season, you're also going to see the 4th and final weapon here, another throwback of the Ball 27, again from Advanced Warfare, fan favorite there. This one is going to be something that is likely in that classified Battle Pass tier sector, so you're going to have 5 challenges leading up to it and then a challenge to unlock that, but we'll see that come throughout the season. But also, even though we only have 4 like functional weapons, we have a handful of aftermarket parts coming throughout the season, 7 of which being in the weekly challenges, 1 of which being in that Battle Pass sector at mid-season. But functionally changing how the weapons perform in a lot of capacity. You have the Jack Cutthroat, the Jack Revenger, the Jack Jawbreaker, the Jack Shadow Titan kit, the Jack Patriot, which essentially makes the M16 from Modern Warfare 2 last year into the M16 A1 automatic variant, the Wardens, which is going to make the Lockwood Mark II, the Akimbo 1887s, the Jack Atlas kit, which turns the AMR9 into, functionally speaking, the 5-round burst AMR9 from Advanced Warfare, and the Photonic Charge from the Moors is going to end up taking it to the Tempest style charged electrical shot. So a lot of cool stuff here with that, but that's your weaponry throughout the season. New perks, you have a handful here for the first time. We're no longer just getting 1 or 2 at a time. We actually have 5 new perks coming throughout the season. You have the Gunslinger Vest, which is an underkill specialist with additional abilities for secondaries that are equipped. The Modular Assault Rig, which is kind of like Scavenger Pro, taking that Scavenger glove but putting it into a vest. And then the Compression Carrier is basically quick fix returning to multiplayer. Really stoked for that one. Then you have the Reinforced Boots, which is essentially just Dauntless from Vanguard, making you immune to movement reduction effects, and the High Gain Antenna, which is basically a team-based recon style of perk. Now you'll have new gear of the EMD mine, which is a sticky advanced UAV style mine where it'll explode, it'll shoot darts off and hit enemies where until the enemy removes that tracking dart, it will notify players of their position and direction. You also will end up seeing at mid-season the Enhanced Vision Goggles, which is a battery-dependent goggle set that is integrated target highlighting. So it doesn't last forever, but you do end up getting some target tracking abilities here with that. You also see new modes and returning modes of Capture the Flag, One in the Chamber. Those ones you're probably familiar with. Minefield is going to be coming, which is basically a martyrdom style mode, but with cluster mines instead of grenades. So way more explosives. EOD is going to be a must for that game mode. And then Escort is coming throughout the season as well, where it's Payload from Warzone coming to multiplayer, or if you want a better comparison, probably Safeguard from Black Ops 3, before Payload and before War. So you'll also see rounding out the multiplayer content, the operators of Makarov, Snoop Dogg, Banshee, Bashir, and Stasis as the Black Cell operator. Now for Warzone, of course, the big ticket item is that of Rebirth Island. That's obviously the thing that everybody's going to focus on. That's the big offering for Season 3 here, and it is absolutely exciting to see back, I think. I personally don't think that we ever should have seen these removed from the Warzone offering. Instead, with Warzone 2, I think they should have just came over, but I mean, you can't change the past. So I'm happy to have this back, happy to play on it, but along with Rebirth Island, the other things that are gameplay altering per se come in the way. Firstly, in Rebirth Island, those Infil strikes. This is something that's going to be a random event that happens, does not happen every single game, but on rare occasion, you'll end up seeing games start with one of 3 different points of interest destroyed and altered entirely. Those including the lighthouse, the prison rooftop, and the water tower. All of those could be adjusted so that once you drop in, they might not be the same as the last game that you played. They might offer some unique opportunities to traverse the world, to take different engagements, but it'll be something that is indeed different. For Rebirth Island, we're also going to see a new heavy armor event, which is something that increases the health available for players by 1 plate for the entire duration of the match, that being mentioned at Infil. Again, a random event that will happen. There's going to be a new spy drones contract. You're going to have the ability to do the Champion's Quest on Rebirth Island, which will be a lot of fun for people, I think. You'll have variable time of day coming throughout the season for Rebirth Island, so that what you have, that bright and sunny atmosphere, may not be exactly what happens throughout the season. You'll have the biometric scan system, which seems like your exfil streak from DMZ and now zombies, mixed with like a daily login and other sorts of aspects with it. So I'm curious to see what that will all amount to. You'll have the weapon trade station coming in season, the specialist bonus and foresight kill streak coming in season, and ranked is going to be on Rebirth this season as well, switching over from Fortune's Keep, which is definitely gonna be cool. And the thing that I'm personally excited here out of this is that you will actually have camo rewards and other things to go for here in ranked Resurgence this season. So that was one of the big reasons why I didn't really even touch ranked Resurgence last season, or rather the current season still, because you just didn't have really anything that was worth my time, I thought, to grind out the game. You get a calling card and an emblem. That's great, man, but like not for me. So excited to see a camo to work towards this entire upcoming season. With ranked, we still have no information on ranked for Resurgence just yet, which is interesting. So I'm curious if that'll be a season 4 thing, or are we just like abandoning ranked on big map? Hopefully not, but beyond that, additional things in the Warzone side of things for additional features and events. You have the Climb and Punishment new Gulag event coming for Vondel and Urzikstan, where it's kind of born out of those trolling of clips of like, hey, let's both take the zip line, and then you take it first and the other guy loses because only one person can end up taking the zip line to win. This is going to be a way to communicate with your enemy that you can both climb out of the Gulag and you both win, but do you trust your enemy at that point? It's one of those things that you might be able to enact it or start that going, but do you shoot him in the back or do you let him go? We'll also see bunkers open up throughout Urzikstan as well as the season progresses, and a few other smaller things. But beyond that, zombies, all your stuff is coming at mid-season. Again, a new warlord, new act continuation and story missions. You also have new schematics to work towards and stuff like that, but other than that, that's really it for zombies. Still the short end of the stick on that for sure. Overall, you'll also see new ranks coming in play. Again, another 200 coming along with this, 4 more prestiges, new weekly challenges and rewards with a new, again, season completion reward coming for completing every single weekly challenge set, and new events along the way that you can look forward to throughout the entire season. But that is season 3 and everything you really need to know in one little video here. So that, I think, is where we're going to wrap it up. Before we do, though, just want to give a quick reminder to check out my friends over at Gamer Advantage. I firmly believe that these are the best blue light glasses on the market. I've worked with these guys for 3 years now and cannot recommend them enough. To me, they're the most lightweight, comfortable, and durable frames out there, and I definitely think they've helped my daily productivity. Full transparency, they are a bit more of an investment, but I do think your vision's absolutely worth investing into, especially if you're like me and looking at a monitor, phone, or gaming for a good chunk of the day. So if you guys would like to learn more, at the very least, I'd recommend checking out their website. They can better break down the science, all the specifics of their product, way better than I could. But what I can personally say is that from the 3 years I've been using them, I'd highly recommend them. So if you guys would like to learn more, check the link in the description below. And if you'd like to pick something up for yourself, use code Espresso to get 10% off your entire order. But that said, that is going to wrap it up. That's season 3 in a nutshell, and everything that you should know here ahead of the launch for season 3 this upcoming Wednesday. So let me know your thoughts down below. Is there anything in particular that really stands out to you out of season 3? Anything in regards to the multiplayer, zombies maybe, or Warzone content that you guys particularly enjoy, maybe dislike, whatever the case, drop your thoughts down below. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so don't miss a single thing on all things Modern Warfare 3 and season 3 upcoming, but also a ton of other FPS content here on the channel. We've been touching on a bunch of different games, and I love breaking out and diversifying a bit of the content here. So I'd love to have in the community if you're interested in any of that. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.